Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The sports world was left in absolute shock after what happened during the Bears' post-game press conference last night. Head coach Ben Johnson, usually calm and measured, completely lost his composure live on air, unleashing a furious rant that no one saw coming. The outburst came moments after another disappointing performance from the team, and Johnson, visibly frustrated, didn't hold back his emotions. What started as a routine question from a reporter about player rotations quickly spiraled into chaos. Cameras caught Johnson slamming his hands on the table, his voice rising as he declared he'd had enough of certain attitudes inside the locker room. Fans watching at home couldn't believe it. Social media exploded instantly, with clips of the meltdown spreading like wildfire. The press room fell silent as Johnson, breathing heavily, continued to vent about the team's lack of discipline and accountability. For a coach who's built his reputation on composure and professionalism, this was a moment that tore down that image completely. What really stunned everyone, though, wasn't just the anger, it was the name he dropped. With a single sentence, Johnson revealed that one of his key players might be on the way out, and from that moment, the entire NFL world started buzzing. As the shockwave from Ben Johnson's tirade continued to ripple through the sports community, speculation began to mount about who the mystery player might be. Inside sources suggest that tensions have been brewing for weeks behind closed doors, with disagreements over play calling, locker room leadership, and effort levels during practice. The Bears have been underperforming lately, and while fans initially blamed injuries and tough matchups, insiders are now pointing to deeper internal problems. Johnson's emotional eruption seemed to confirm what many suspected, that the locker room isn't united. Journalists who were in the room said Johnson's tone changed from anger to sheer exhaustion as he admitted that some players just don't want to be here anymore. That line alone sent analysts scrambling to connect the dots. Who could he be talking about? Could it be a veteran clashing with the coaching staff, or maybe a young star frustrated with his role? Within minutes, fan forums, podcasts, and Twitter threads were filled with theories. Some even suggested that this wasn't a slip, it was a calculated move, a message to the front office and to the player himself. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain. The locker room drama has officially spilled into the public. Video footage of the meltdown has now been viewed millions of times, dissected frame by fans and pundits alike. Every expression, every pause, every word Johnson uttered is being analyzed like it's part of a crime scene. Some claim they could see regret in his eyes halfway through, as if he realized the magnitude of what he'd just done. Others believe it was pure honesty breaking through months of bottled-up frustration. What adds another layer of intrigue is how the players have reacted, or more accurately, how they haven't. Normally, after a viral moment like this, teammates rush to social media to show support for their coach or clarify misunderstandings. This time, silence. Not a single current player from the Bears has commented publicly. That silence speaks volumes and has only fueled speculation that Johnson's comments hit close to home. Fans noticed that one particular player, often seen as a leader in the locker room, unfollowed the team's official page shortly after the incident. Coincidence? Maybe. But in today's digital world, that tiny click can send a message louder than any press release. The question remains, is this the beginning of the end for a once promising Bears project? Behind the scenes, reports are emerging that the Bears front office held an emergency meeting early this morning to assess the damage. Sources close to the organization say executives were stunned and deeply concerned about the public fallout. Public relations teams have been working overtime, crafting statements that can cool the fire without throwing more gasoline on it. But the challenge is enormous. Johnson's words weren't vague. They carried intent, frustration, and, more dangerously, truth. Some staff members reportedly tried to convince him to issue an immediate apology, while others argued that doubling down might show strength and transparency. The divide isn't just between coach and player now. It's creeping up the hierarchy of the organization. Fans outside the facility gathered with signs, some defending their coach's passion, others demanding accountability from everyone involved. Sports radio stations across Chicago haven't talked about anything else for 12 straight hours. It's chaos, pure and simple, and the timing couldn't be worse. With the season hanging in the balance, this controversy could either spark a fire that unites the team or completely tear it apart before the next game. What's even more intriguing is that this might not have been an isolated explosion. People close to the team say there have been multiple smaller incidents over the past few weeks. Heated sideline exchanges, players walking out of meetings, and cryptic comments about trust issues within the locker room. Johnson's eruption may just be the public eruption of something that's been simmering under the surface for months. Insiders claim that during practice last week, a key player openly challenged one of Johnson's decisions in front of the entire team, something that's considered a major breach of protocol in professional sports. The tension in that moment, reportedly, was so thick that several assistants had to step in to calm things down. So when Johnson went off on live television, maybe it wasn't a slip, it was an inevitable breaking point. Still, for a coach to publicly call out his own player is practically unheard of, especially in a league that values image control and locker room secrecy. But maybe that's why fans are connecting with him, now more than ever. He said what everyone's been thinking, and in today's raw, emotion-driven sports culture, that kind of honesty hits differently. In the aftermath, sports journalists across the country are already framing this as one of the most explosive coaching moments in recent memory. Comparisons are being drawn to legendary meltdowns from the past, press conference blow-ups that became turning points for teams, seasons, even careers. The difference here, though, is the era we live in. One viral clip can define a man's reputation overnight, and Johnson's words are now etched permanently into the internet's memory. As the dust begins to settle, questions loom large. Will the Bears stand by their head coach, or will the front office pressure him into a public apology? More importantly, who is the player he wants gone? And what does that mean for the team's future? The silence from the organization so far is deafening, and that only adds to the suspense. Every hour that passes without clarification only deepens the mystery. What started as an emotional outburst has turned into a full-blown saga that could reshape the narrative of the Bears' entire season. And if there's one thing everyone agrees on, it's that we haven't heard the last from Ben Johnson. By the next morning, the story had taken on a life of its own. Sports talk shows were replaying Johnson's rant on loop, with analysts debating whether it was a moment of brutal honesty or a professional mistake. Fans called into radio stations, some passionately defending the coach's candor, others accusing him of losing control and jeopardizing team unity. What made the situation even more fascinating was the identity of the rumored player at the heart of it all. Though Johnson never mentioned the name directly, multiple sources claim it's a high-profile offensive star, someone who's been visibly frustrated on the sidelines in recent games. That clue alone sent fans into detective mode, analyzing body language and sideline interactions from recent footage. Social media has become a battlefield of theories, with people posting screenshots, quotes, and even lip-reading attempts from televised moments. The team's PR department has refused to confirm or deny anything, leaving the rumor mill to spin freely. But make no mistake, the locker room knows exactly who Johnson was talking about, and that's what makes the silence even more deafening. The trust between players and coach may already be shattered, and repairing that could take much more than a simple apology. As reporters crowded around the team's practice facility, waiting for any sign of life, Johnson finally made a brief appearance. Dressed in plain team gear, sunglasses covering his eyes, he walked past the cameras without saying a word. The usually talkative coach had gone completely silent, a stark contrast to the fury of the previous night. When he eventually spoke later in the day, his tone was calm but firm. "I said what I said," he told a stunned group of journalists. "This team needs to decide who wants to be here." That one line reignited the firestorm instantly. Analysts praised his conviction, arguing that too many coaches hide behind cliches instead of addressing problems head-on. Others, however, saw it as arrogance, a refusal to take responsibility for his own part in the chaos. Inside the organization, several unnamed players reportedly feel betrayed, saying that Johnson broke the code by airing internal frustrations in public. Yet some veterans have quietly expressed support, claiming that his words might finally wake up a team that's been underachieving all season. Whatever side you're on, there's no denying it. The Bears have become the most talked-about team in the league right now. Behind closed doors, sources claim the tension between Johnson and the unnamed player has reached the point of no return. Negotiations are allegedly underway to explore a possible trade, though no official confirmation has been made. One insider described the atmosphere as toxic, with players choosing sides and assistants trying desperately to keep practices focused. The situation has created an emotional divide unlike anything the franchise has experienced in years. What's even more complicated is how this affects team chemistry on the field. When players lose faith in their coach, or in each other, the results are almost always disastrous. Some believe Johnson's outburst, while passionate, could end up costing him his job if the front office deems it a distraction. Others think it's a calculated gamble, a way to weed out discontent and rebuild the team's culture from the ground up. Regardless, the stakes couldn't be higher. Every training session now feels like a test of loyalty, and every press conference a potential landmine. The Bears aren't just fighting for wins anymore. They're fighting to hold their identity together before the entire season collapses under the weight of controversy. In sports, moments like these have a strange way of defining legacies. For Ben Johnson, this could either be the breaking point or the breakthrough. Coaches have been fired for less, but they've also been immortalized for standing their ground. What makes this story so compelling is the raw humanity behind it. The frustration, the passion, the unfiltered honesty. Fans are drawn to chaos, and right now, chaos has a face, Ben Johnson's. Some say he's exposing the truth about a soft, complacent culture that's been holding the Bears back. Others think he's lost control of his emotions and let his ego take over. Meanwhile, the player believed to be at the center of the storm hasn't said a single word. His silence might be strategic, or it might be the calm before an even bigger explosion. Every camera lens, every microphone, every headline is waiting for him to speak. And when he does, it could either vindicate the coach or bury him for good. Until then, the tension lingers like a dark cloud over Chicago, where every whispered rumor feels like the spark that could ignite the next wildfire. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Inside fan circles, the situation has almost turned into a cultural event. Memes of Johnson's outburst are flooding the internet. Late-night talk shows are joking about it, and even rival teams' fans can't resist watching the drama unfold. Some Bears supporters have rallied behind the slogan, "In Ben We Trust," turning the controversy into a badge of loyalty. Others are calling for calm, worried that the team is becoming a circus instead of a contender. The players caught in the middle have started to feel the pressure in ways that go beyond football. Every move they make is scrutinized. Every comment, no matter how innocent, is twisted into a headline. Some younger players reportedly look up to Johnson for his honesty, while others privately question whether they can continue to play for a coach who might publicly call them out next. The locker room has become a fragile ecosystem, and the next game could determine everything. A win might quiet the noise, even temporarily. A loss, however, could send a franchise into full-blown crisis mode. And if that happens, not even the most loyal fans may be able to defend the storm that Ben Johnson created with one fiery night of truth. As the week progresses, the Bears find themselves standing at a crossroads, their future hanging by a thread of uncertainty and pride. Johnson continues to coach with intensity, his demeanor stoic during practices, but his eyes revealing a fire that refuses to die down. Rumors persist that the front office is monitoring the situation closely, weighing public sentiment against team morale. In the meantime, every interaction between coach and player feels heavy, every handshake staged under the invisible pressure of cameras and headlines. The NFL world is watching, waiting to see whether the Bears will crumble or rise from the ashes of this scandal. For Johnson, redemption won't come from words. It'll come from wins. But if the team fails to respond, the same passion that once made him a fan favorite could turn into the reason for his downfall. And yet, deep down, there's something undeniably captivating about this saga. It's messy, it's emotional, it's human. In an era where everything feels scripted, Ben Johnson's meltdown reminded everyone that sports still have the power to surprise, to divide, and to make us feel something real. And that, in its own chaotic way, might be his greatest victory yet. As the dust slowly begins to settle, there's an eerie calm around the Bears facility, the kind that comes before another storm. Reporters say Johnson has doubled down on his message internally, telling the team during a closed-door meeting that only those who bleed for the jersey will stay. That line, according to a player who spoke anonymously, sent chills through the room. Some players nodded in agreement, but others stared down at their shoes, unwilling to meet the coach's eyes. It's clear that a new line has been drawn in the sand. Either you're with Johnson or you're out. The rumored player, meanwhile, has reportedly missed 2 consecutive team activities, citing personal reasons, though many believe it's his quiet form of protest. The media frenzy has only intensified as cameras crowd the facility gates, hoping to catch a glimpse of tension spilling into the open again. But for now, Johnson remains composed, outwardly calm, but with that unmistakable fire burning behind his words. Whether this silence signals peace or pressure, no one can tell, but it's obvious the story is far from over. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.